welcome to another episode of the Theatre Professor Vidcast. My name is Terry Dana Jakimiak II, and I am the Theatre Professor. And this week we're going to continue our art apps for the iPad. Do 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 ba 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 da ba ch do 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 ba 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 da ba ch. Wanted to give me a little bit of an intro music thing. I mean, I have it in the very top of the show, but that was kind of fun, wasn't it? No? Maybe? Okay, well, I tried. Before we continue on, I want to remind you that if you're watching this on YouTube, see there's a subscribe button down there somewhere. It's I don't even know. Can you hit the subscribe button? Become a subscriber. Yay! Or you could hit the like button. Or if you hate me, hit the dislike button. Dislike buttons are fun. I like the little down thumb thing sometimes. It's interesting. I don't really, but I want to be positive for everybody. Also, if you're watching this on my website and you're not already a member of the www.thetheatreprofessor.com website, go ahead and sign up for Bronze membership. It's completely free. Why do I call it the Bronze membership? Because I don't have a better name. So if you have a better name for the free membership here on the website, leave me a comment. I would love a better name than Bronze, because that's not very exciting. All right. So just to let you know, I've been trying to do this tutorial now. I think I've got 8 different starts on it, and a combination of my daughter and my computer, I have yet to finish it. But this time, we're going to do it. All right, so here we go. We're going to continue on where we left off last week was with Autodesk's Sketchbook. And before I move on to new things, I want to talk to you about one of the things that I finally figured out from last week. Quick note, I'm using a new stylus. I'm using the Adonit Jot Touch with Pixel Point technology. This is it right here. I'd bring it really close and show you, except I have a very bad web camera, and unfortunately I cannot afford the Logitech C910 or something like that. So until I can, you're going to have to look with this really blurry look. It's really nice. See how pixely pointy that is? Well, it does look pixelated, but yeah. So I just got this, and I've started using it. I'm really enjoying it. If you haven't already, read the review on the website. All right, so the big thing that I figured out last week is how to work with the gradients. So we're going to go back in. My nose is itchy. And we're going to go back in, and we're going to click the gradient. And we're going to be like, hi, gradient, how are you? Now, notice my color choice is red. I know, crazy, right? But if I try and do a gradient, let me spread the gradient out, I get black and white. Yay! Wait, that's not red. Okay, so what you have to do is if you click one of the circles and then click the color palette, you can then... Ooh, and then I'll do the middle one. Ooh, and now we have a nice red gradient. But wait, there's more. Really, Terry, there's more? Indeed there is. Let's go ahead and clear that and go back, and let's make a box. Even better, let's do circle. So we have, ooh, that line is ugly. So we're going to grab a different tool. Okay, so now I have a circle. Believe it or not, we can do a gradient within said circle. Well, I just did a solid fill. Let's switch to gradient. Okay, and then we can change the colors of the gradient. We'll do something fun here. There we go. Ooh, shiny gradient. And of course we can spin the gradient, spin it around. Okay, sorry. And the other thing you can do is if you move the center one, you can adjust where the gradient sits. Or if we wanted to, let's go ahead, X that, go back. Give us a circle again. Go back into gradients. But this time, let's do a circular gradient. Move that there. Ooh, so now we have like a shiny button thing. Ooh, it's so 3D. Look, it just comes at you, right? So, sorry, I'm having fun today. It's a good day. So now you know how to do gradients and actually color the gradients. So let's go ahead, clear this page. Remember, double tap in the upper left-hand corner clears the page. Oh, also, I know I haven't gotten the sheet with the shortcuts. It's coming, but I worked on some other things. If you're a member of the website, you'll be getting a new brush pack for ArtRage if you have ArtRage. So I ended up working on that before I worked on the shortcut keys, so I apologize. Okay, so moving on. What we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about on the left-hand side, we have our brush palette. And you can see we have a pencil and what looks like maybe a pen and maybe a mechanical pencil, maybe a couple of brushes, a marker, airbrushes, and an eraser. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, that's not nearly enough for me. Well, guess what? There's more. If you click the button up in the top of that palette, that's the 3 gray brushes. Oops, there we go. You can see all of the types of brushes that we have ranges from basic, synthetic paint, smudge, fine art, texture, shape, splatter, and halftone. Yes, indeed, halftone. Not full tone, but only half. So you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of brushes. I can do a lot with that. Man, I wish I had more control over it. But wait, there's more. So for each of the brushes, you do have more control. I'm going to go ahead and grab a synthetic paintbrush right there. Oh, that's a pretty brush, right? Well, if you touch the 2 slider-looking thing at the top of the menu bar, boop, it switches you over to what you can adjust, and that doesn't have enough adjustment settings. So I'm going to grab maybe the airbrush. There we go. So you can see all of the things that you can adjust on this airbrush. Ranges from hardness, radius, both min and max, opacity, both min and max, spacing, including space and noise, rotation, oops, with angle and jitter, and squish. Squish. It's just such a great term. So by adjusting each of these, as you can see an example up top of what it turns into. So I'm adjusting some rotation, maybe add a little noise and a little space in there. And now I've got something. Let's undo that. Oops. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click my airbrush. I'm going to make it bigger. There we go. So now I got this little like sprayy, cloudy type feel. Now, what you're probably thinking, well, you're probably not thinking this, but I want to tell you anyways, you're thinking, oh my gosh, you did all those changes, but how are you going to get it back to its original form? Well, if you come in here and click the reset button, you can reset the brush to the default form. Okay. All right, let's clear this. And you can do this for any and all of the brushes. Okay, so you can come through here and you can choose pretty much anything. So splatter, it has a couple of settings. What's this? We got this little shape here. This has settings. Everything has settings. So everything's adjustable. Okay. Now the one thing you can also do, and this is interesting. So I'm going to grab my second airbrush here. Okay. I'm going to open up my palette, but I'm going to change Oh, okay, interesting. So the button up top takes you back to the previous brush, it looks like. Well, that's interesting. Now, one of the things that oh yeah, I forgot about that. One of the things, as you can see, you can bounce this up and down too. That's a lot of fun. Really, not that fun. So lots of different pencils. So let's, like, for example, the 9B. It's a nice soft pencil. Now I have pressure sensitivity on mine, so I'm getting my pressure sensitivity with how I press, but you can adjust the pressure sensitivity as well if you go into the settings of the individual pencil or pen, depending on what you're doing. So for example, my pencil there, you can see opacity and size there. Now, My pressure sensitivity generally deals with the size, or with the opacity and not the size. And then we can make it big. Okay. Now one of the things, and I thought I had figured it out and I hadn't, one of the things that would be nice to be able to do is to grab one of these. Oh, you can. So if you press and hold, this is good to know, you can actually drag the brush onto the menu bar on the left. Okay. Now the one thing I'd like to, okay, oh, you can't get rid of it though. Well, that's stinky, because I'd like to, you know, maybe bring a bunch on that I wanted to use, and then, you know, when whatever you're doing is over with, I'd like to be able to get rid of it. But it doesn't look at, well, that's silly. You can add, but you can't take away. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, there probably is a way. I just don't know what that way is. But for example, I'm grabbing, so I press and hold on the texture, and then you can drag it over here. So now I have two more tools. I have this one, and I have this one. This one's a nice little rakish feel to it. Clear the screen. And then, of course, if you wanted to, you could always grab your smudge brushes, which are right here, and kind of smudge it as well. It's my smudge brush. It's smudge-tabulous. That's kind of fun. I find the weirdest things fun. Like, this is really cool. I like this a lot. Yeah, I wish there was a way to remove it from the friggin' palette bar. And again, there probably is. Oh. Both of my erasers are gone. Huh. This is interesting. So if I wanted my eraser back, you can only have so many on your bar. And this is what I've just learned. Okay, so as you can see, now I have all of the original tools on the bar. So your bar is only so big it appears. So that's one thing to be aware of, is if you're going to add things to the bar, don't try and add too many, because it won't work. So for example, I'm going to grab this right here and drag it. I'm going to drag it right there. Grab it. I want to make it a little bigger. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. And again, some of my pressure sensitivity comes from my my stylus. So your results will vary based on what type of stylus, or if you're even using a stylus. Okay. So these are all the brushes that you can use. Okay, like I said, there's actually quite a few. Not as many as the desktop version of the program, but enough to be content with. So here's some that's fun. Some of our halftones. The only thing that'd be better is if you could fill with halftones, but I don't think the fill allows. Nope. Okay. This is the iPad. It's not a full computer, so there has to be some disadvantages to it, and that's one of them. Now, if you're just sketching, which sometimes I'll do, so I'll grab my pencil, and I'm going to go ahead and just grab a dark gray color for my sketching. If you look at the top menu bar, you have like what looks like an oval with two circles in it. If you click that, it reduces that side to just a little palette here, which has the color at the bottom and your tool and its size up top. Now, if you click the tool, the top circle, you can then adjust and change through different tools. Okay, so let's grab an HB pencil. Okay, and then you can adjust the you can adjust the size by pressing and holding. You can see increases and decreases. And the color, if you tap the color, it brings this up. And you can adjust the saturation of the color by pressing and holding. Now, obviously, I want it at 0 because I'm just doing a little sketching here. Now, I'm going to increase my size a little bit. There we go. Now, just like any other tool, you can mix and match and combine these with other programs depending on what you're trying to accomplish. I'm doing a quick bench sketch. This is a new bench I'm designing right now. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll add a layer. I'm going to take my layer, drag it underneath. I'm going to grab a pen this time. Let's see what types of pens we got. That'll work. I'm going to take my sketch layer and reduce the opacity. And then I'm going to grab one of my controllable guides. Just showing you this because of the power, the power of this tool, right? So not only can I do my vertical here, I can do my vertical here, I can do my vertical there, my vertical there, here, and here. This could be really nice for somebody who does a lot of technical drawings. Right there. Then maybe up here. Everything runs parallel. Okay. Now I'm doing this very quickly. If I was doing this as an actual drawing. Oops. I'll do that one. Just click the check mark. Okay, then back. And I want to turn it off. And oops. I keep saying oops. And now I'm freehanding rather than the jankiest little bench ever. I like janky benches. They're so very much fun. I want to finish connecting these, and I'll be showing you why here in a second. Now, one of the things that I haven't gone over is the layers. And that's, I think you'll be okay. So now that I have an area filled, let's come in here. Let's change my color to a nice brownish. Boom, you can start to fill. Now, you can adjust the tolerance, and it starts to fill in a little better, okay? Uh-oh, I had a hole. When you have a hole, it continues filling up. Okay, there we go. Oy vey. I have my multi-touch controls are back. What is going on? This is the super red. There we go. Done. Okay, good. But you can see where this, this has some really nice tools for mechanical sketchings. If you're somebody like me who has to do mechanical sketching sometimes, if I'm drawing some draftings for students so they can build off of, this is a really nice tool for that. And I'm going to actually test it out on my next show, kind of play with it a little bit and see what I can use it for. Because one of the great things is I can take it with me into the shop, right? I can't take my computer with my Vectorworks or whatever drafting program I'm using at the time into the shop, but my iPad, I can take it and be like, hey, look at this. Let's do this. This is fabulous. Okay? I'll just point out the layers palette on the right. You can add and subtract layers. If you click on each layer, you can see you can do lots of things with them, clearing, merging, blending. I mean, it's like any other layer palette, whether you're using Photoshop, ArtRage, Procreate, anything. There's a lot of different things you can do. You could change the blend to multiply, or you could change the color of the label. Oh, it's yellow now for some random reason. You could duplicate it. Oh, it just got darker. It's crazy. Let's change the hue or the hard light or make it soft light. I don't care. Have fun with it. Okay. So you can see this is a bit different program. There are art elements to it, but my feeling is when I use it, I tend to use this program or will use this program more for technical type drawing. Something that I don't necessarily do in ArtRage, which ArtRage for me is very much an art program. Is this the best program out there for technical type drawings? No, but it's not a bad program. It's not a bad program, especially if you're using it in conjunction with the desktop version. If you haven't tried out the Sketchbook desktop version, again, it's only $25 for a year, which is probably one of the best prices for art apps. That and ArtRage are the two that are the most cost efficient. You start moving up into Corel Painter, which I really want but can't afford right now. That's $300. Photoshop, which is great, and if you do the CC, the Creative Cloud, you can actually get it fairly cheap, but still, in the long run, it's a bit pricey. So if you're looking for cheaper alternatives, these are those cheaper alternatives. The one thing I will say about this program is sometimes it does feel like it lags a little bit, but that could be because it's attempting to do too much, or what I consider too much. Okay? All right. I'm going to transform this baby by moving it around. Oh, look at that. All right. That's going to be it for this week on the Theatre Professor Vidcast Art Apps for the iPad. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday if you're in the U.S. If you're not a U.S., I know I have some Australian watchers. You guys are fabulous. You guys are on a very different time schedule than us too. And oh, you know what? Are you guys below the equator? I'm just curious, because if you are, that means it's like summertime for you, right? Where you can see me on the sweater because it's cold out, though I do have the sun blazing behind me, which is nice. Sorry, I'm talking to my Australian watchers. If you're somewhere other than Australia or America, go ahead and let me know, and I'll say hi to you too. Well, that's about it this week. The one last thing I want to mention, and this is essentially is for the people who are watching this on the website, I will be having a live webinar on Saturday, this Saturday, November 29th at 8:30 p.m. It deals with ArtRage. We're going to be making Christmas cards in ArtRage and Photoshop. ArtRage will be the focus, but I will be using Photoshop to show you what you can do in that as well, which could make your Christmas card, your holiday card shop, or making even a little better. If you aren't able to attend the live webinar, it will be recorded and I will be putting it up as well. But the live webinar allows you to actually ask me questions. I won't be able to answer questions once the live webinar is ended. The other thing is there's a big surprise coming this Thursday on Thanksgiving. It's a surprise geared towards educators. It is an online class. If you're interested, keep an eye out for that as well. Well, that's it for this week. Again, this is the Theatre Professor Vidcast. This is Art Apps for the iPad. And my name is Terry Dana Jakimiak II, and I am the Theatre Professor.